Well, a day after unveiling its new iPhones in the U.S., Apple made a similar introduction in China to some less than stellar reactions.
Yeah, it certainly was a bit of a damp squib there. The main reason for that, the cost of the new phones, especially the less expensive iPhone 5C. Now, that phone will sell for about $730 in China. That's almost $200 more than in the US, the US retail price. And it's just $130 less than its glitzier big sister, if you like, the iPhone 5S.
Am I really going to spend over 4,000 won, 4,500 won even, to buy a phone from last generation? I really think it's crazy. I don't think there's really any need to buy something like this. But perhaps if I didn't know about it before, or if ultimately I really didn't care, and I saw the different colors to choose from, then perhaps I might consider it.
My original expectation was that the 5C would cost around 3,000 yuan. But now, as you just said, it's over 4,000. I think it's a little too expensive for a budget version. I don't think I would buy one. If 5S were around 5,000, similar to the already released 5 and 4S, I might be able to accept it.
And investors aren't impressed either. Apple stock dropped for a second straight day, down about 5.5% to $467 a share. It had reached $700 last September. So I want to talk more about Apple with Alan Valdez. He's the director of floor trading at DME Securities and joins me from CNN New York. So, Alan, several analysts also downgrading Apple stock, saying that 5C is just not cheap enough. On the other hand, we hear Apple has gotten the okay to run its iPhones on China Mobile, the latest sign that a deal could be in the works. How much of an impact is that going to be?
Well, you know, obviously China Mobile, if they do a deal with China Mobile, that's great. But as your previous interviewer was saying, I mean, it's too expensive. It's crazy. I mean, that's why the stock in the last 2 days, Patricia, lost $23 billion worth of market cap value. That's equivalent to all of Dell. So, I mean, it hasn't gone with the investors, and I don't think it's going to go with the consumers. Too expensive. It's crazy.
Well, Carl Icahn bought more shares of Apple. He called it a no-brainer, so we'll see what Apple stock does tomorrow. But I do want to move on to the bond bonanza. Verizon, record $49 billion offering. Tell us about that and whether it took away from the 10-year.
You know, we were concerned about that this morning, that this bond offering would take away. It was a very strong bond. I mean, the Verizon was a $49 billion deal. It got $101 billion worth of orders this morning. So it's really oversubscribed. It did good. It did really well. You know, they trade reverse of what stocks do. You buy a stock, you want it to go up. You buy a bond, you want it to go down. And it went down 2 basis points. So it acted really well. But we were concerned it would take away from the 10-year. The 10-year had a $29 billion auction, and that went real good. That was real strong also. That was about a point and a half, about 2 basis points also below market value at that time. So strong auctions in both categories. But you know what, Patricia? This has been a great year for bonds. In the United States, corporate bonds, we saw $540 billion worth of bonds so far this year sold. So it's been a great year for the bond market.
Now, finally, Alan, I wanted to talk to you about 9/11. Certainly was a somber day there on Wall Street.
Yeah, you know, on traders on the floor, we had a moment of silence. We lost actually 4 brokers that were having breakfast that day in the World Trade Center. So it really hit home. All of us on the floor remembered very well. It was very somber on the floor today. But, you know, life goes on, and the market, of course, just took off right after the opening. And it was a somber day, but at the same time, it was good to see the market close up today and no events outside the building.
Yeah, you mentioned the market taking off right from the beginning. Do you buy into this momentum, Alan?
I do. I think the market's good, Patricia. You know, I think Syria's maybe on the back burner. I think the Fed's meet in a couple of days here on the 18th of September. I don't really see them. If they do taper, it's going to be light. I think the jobs number was weak enough that they're not going to go overboard. I think the market's okay if we taper, say, $5 billion. I don't even think we'll taper $10 billion.